Hello all and welcome back to my channel. My name is Pandey and today I'm going to talk about enrollment of Linux devices in Intune. In this module, I will start with the introduction of Linux support in Intune, and then we'll discuss about what is the system requirement to enroll Linux operating system in Intune, what are the prerequisites to enroll the Ubuntu Desktop, how to install Ubuntu Desktop on Hyper-V for testing purpose, how to install Microsoft Edge for web browser on Ubuntu Desktop, and then how to install the Microsoft Intune app on Ubuntu, how to enroll the Ubuntu operating system using Microsoft Intune app. Then we'll discuss about how to create a compliance policy for Linux operating system in Intune, and then we'll create a conditional access policy for non-compliant devices, and last we'll validate and perform a demo. Now let's start with the enrollment of Linux devices in Intune. So we can enroll our personal Linux devices in Microsoft Intune to get secure access to work or school resources in Microsoft Edge. Microsoft recommended to enable encryption when you first install Ubuntu Desktop on your device. Your organization may require your device to be encrypted, and it's easiest to encrypt the device during operating system installation. Now let's see what is the system's requirement to enroll the Ubuntu device in Microsoft Intune. So to enroll a Linux device in Microsoft Intune, we need Ubuntu Desktop version 22.0 or 20.04 LTS, and a Gnome graphic desktop environment is required, which is automatically installed with Ubuntu Desktop version 22.04 or version 20.04 LTS. So Gnome is a GNU network object model environment, is a graphical user interface, also known as GUI, in Linux and in particular in the Ubuntu 22.04 operating system. It includes a variety of desktop applications, and its aim is to make a Linux system easy to use for non-programmers. The LTS releases comes with 5 years of support, meaning that you can be assured of secure and dependable operating system, giving you the faster route for development and deployment of desktop devices, server, cloud, and IoT edge. Microsoft recommendation is to enable the encryption when you first install the Ubuntu Desktop on your devices, and organization may require your device to be encrypted using conditional access, and it is easier to encrypt the device during operating system installation. Now let's talk about the prerequisites to enroll a Ubuntu device in Intune. So the very first prerequisite is to install the Microsoft Edge web browser, and the version should be 102.x or later. So this Edge browser is used to access your organizational website and other online resources. And the second requirement is to install the Microsoft Intune app. We need to install the Linux version of Microsoft Intune app. So the Linux version of Microsoft Intune app is used for the enrollment, and the Intune app registers your device with your organization and enroll it in Intune. Now let's see how we can install the Microsoft Intune app. So to install a Microsoft Intune app, we have to first install the app, and then we have to update the app. So first we have to install the curl by running this command, and then we have to install the Microsoft package signing keys. If you are using Ubuntu 20.04, then we have to run these 4 commands one by one, and if you are using Ubuntu 22.04, then we have to run these 4 commands one by one. And after that we have to install the Microsoft Intune app by running these 2 commands one by one, and then we have to reboot the device. Reboot is mandatory, otherwise it's not going to work. After that we have to update the Intune app. By default, Intune app is automatically updated when there is a new update available for that, but if you want to update manually, you just need to run these 2 commands for manually updation of Microsoft Intune app. Now let's see how to install the Ubuntu Desktop version 22.04 or version 20.04 LTS on Hyper-V for testing purpose. So to create a Linux operating system on Hyper-V, we have to open Hyper-V Manager, and under Action we have to click on Quick Create, and then it's going to create a virtual machine. We have multiple options. We can create Ubuntu 20.04 LTS version or 22.04 version. I'm going to install the Ubuntu 22.04 LTS version, and I'm going to click on. If you already have a ISO available locally, you can use this option, local installation source, and then we can configure some more options. Like if you want to change the name of your VM, you can change the name, and under network you can select the network as per your requirement, and then click on create virtual machine. Now it's verifying the image. Now it's extracting the disk from image archive. Now virtual machine is created, and we have to click on connect option. After that, we have to configure the system configuration. The very first setting is to select the language, and then click on continue option, and then we have to select the keyboard layout and click on continue option, and then we have to select the location and then click on continue option, and you have to provide your name, and in pick a username we have to provide the name without any space, and then we have to provide the password, and then we have to click on continue. Now it's going to configure the keyboard. Now it's applying all the required changes, and we can see the details also. Now we have to provide the username and password and click OK. Now we can see that we are able to log in to the virtual machine, and we can skip this online account setting, and then we have to click on next, and then again next. If you want, you can enable the location services. For now I'm not enabling it, and I'm just clicking on next, and then done. We can see that there is a new update available for this machine, but for now I'm not going to install it. I'm just going to cancel this, and then we have to check what is the version of this machine. To check this, we have to go to the search option and just type the version, and then under setting we can see that about version, and then we can see that the name of the device. If you want, you can change the name of the device. For now I'm going to change the name. I'm going to give test PC4 and rename it, and we can see that the operating system name is Ubuntu 22.04 LTS, and then operating system type is 64-bit, and the GNOME version is 42.0, and Windows operating system is X11, and the virtualization is by Microsoft. Now let's see how to install Microsoft Edge web browser version 102 or later on Ubuntu Desktop. Now the very first step we have to do is to install the Microsoft Edge, and to do this we have to go to the Firefox web browser, and then we have to search for Edge or Linux or Edge for Ubuntu. We have to select the very first option, and then we have to select the beta channel, and then we have to download it, and then we have to accept the license terms, and then click on close. And now it started downloading the setup file. Now download is completed. Click on show all downloads, and then we have to double click on this, and then we have to double click on the software update, and then we have to click on the Microsoft Edge beta version install, and then we have to provide the password for authentication. and click on authenticate. Now it's going to install the Microsoft Edge beta version on this PC. And now we can see that the Microsoft Edge beta version is installed. And we can also verify by clicking on show all applications, and then under this we have to type for Edge, and we can see that Edge is now installed. Now Edge is now opening, and we have to accept and get it started and just confirm the settings. And then if you want to even close it, now Edge is installed on this device. Now let's see how to install Microsoft Intune app on Ubuntu Desktop version 22.04 or version 20.04 LTS. So you have to install the Linux version of Microsoft Intune app, which is used for enrollment, and with the help of this app we can register the device in Azure as well as enroll the device in Intune. And to do this we have to open the Firefox web browser, and Microsoft provided some command lines to install the Microsoft Intune app, and we have to run those command lines in terminal. Within the Microsoft documentation under prerequisites, we have to click on Microsoft Intune app, and then we have to run these commands one by one. So I'm going to open the terminal, and the very first command we have to run is install curl, and then we have to provide the password, and then we have to install the Microsoft package signing keys. And if you are using Ubuntu 20.04 version, then we have to use these commands. And if we are using Ubuntu 22.04 version, then we have to run these commands. So I am using Ubuntu 22.04, so I am running these commands, and then next command, and then next command, and the next command sudo rm microsoft.gpg. And after that we have to install the Microsoft Intune app. For that we have to run the sudo apt update command, and then we have to run next command sudo apt install Intune portal. After that, as per documentation, we have to reboot the system. So I'm going to reboot the system. And we can check whether the Microsoft Intune app is installed on the device or not. So to do this, we have to go to the show all application, and we have to search for Intune, and we can see the Microsoft Intune app is installed on the device. Now let's see how to enroll the Ubuntu operating system using Microsoft Intune app. So to enroll the client, we have to open the Microsoft Intune app, and then we have to sign in. We have to provide the username and then password, and then register the device. Now we have to begin the setup access process. So to do that, we have to click on begin, and then we have to click on begin again. Now it's registering the device. Now we can see that the machine is checking the compliance status. Now we can see that the machine is showing as a compliant. We can also verify the same thing in Intune portal. We can see that the one device is enrolled in Intune with Linux operating system, and if you want to see the device detail, we just need to go to the Linux, and then we can see that this device is compliant and operating system is Linux, and the version also. An important point is that this machine is already registered. Now let's see how to create a compliance policy for Linux operating system in Intune portal. So before creating a Linux compliance policy, let's first create a group so that we can target all the required policies on that group. And we have to create a new group, and the group type should be security, and then we have to provide the name. So I am going to provide the Linux devices, and then I'm going to create a dynamic device group, and to create this the query should be, and under property we have to select device OS type, and the operator is equal to and the value should be Linux, and then we have to validate the rule. For validating, I am just going to add the test for device and select and then validate. Now I am able to see that validation is passed. I'm going to save the query and create. Now we can see that my group is created and machine is also part of that group. Now we are good to create a compliance policy for Linux devices. So to do this, we have to go to the devices. Under devices, we have to select the Linux tab, and then we have to create the compliance policy, and then we have to click on create policy. By default is selecting the platform is equal to Linux, and the profile type should be setting catalog, and then we have to click on create, and then we have to provide the compliance policy name. So for now I'm just providing the Linux CP compliance policy, and then click on create, and then we have to add the settings under setting catalogs, and I am going to create two policies. One for device encryption should be required, and then password policy, the required device encryption should be true and the minimum length should be 6, and then click on next, and then we have to specify the action on non-compliant devices. Want my non-compliant device should be marked as non-compliant immediately, and then click on next, and then we have to deploy this to the group we created, and then select and create, and then we have to click on next, and then now policy is created, and then click create. Now the compliance policy is created for Linux devices. Now after some time we can see that the machine is showing as non-compliant, and we can also check against which policies machine is showing as non-compliant. To do this, we have to click on view issues, and then we can see that it is showing non-compliance against the encryption, and we have created two policies. Against one policy is showing as non-compliant, and against the password minimum length policy is showing as a compliant. Now machine is not compliant, hard disk is not encrypted, but still the user can access the company resources. Let's see. So to do this, I am opening a Firefox in private mode and logging to portal.office.com, and I am providing my username and password, and we can see that I am able to access the company resources even the machine is a non-compliant machine. Now let's see how to create a conditional access policy for non-compliant Linux devices. Now let's see how we can block the access of non-compliant devices. To do this, we have to log into the Microsoft Azure portal, and we have to create a conditional access policy. For that, we have to search for conditional access, and then we have to create a new policy, and then we have to provide the name. I am providing Linux non-compliant devices, and under assignment, either we have to assign to all users or a specific group of user. For now, I am selecting all users. Under cloud apps or actions, either we can select for user action or cloud app actions. For now, I'm selecting the cloud app action, and if you want, you can select a specific application or all application. For now, I'm selecting any specific application, and I'm going to target to Office 365 and select. And then under condition, we have to provide the device platform condition, and under device platform condition we have to configure it, and then we have to select the specific platform, and platform should be Linux device, and then click on done. And under access control, we have to select required device to be marked as compliant, and then click on create, and here we have to enable this policy and then create it. Now policy is created to block the access of Office 365 application if the device is non-compliant. Now let's validate the conditional access is blocking the non-compliant devices for accessing the company resources. Now I am on my client PC, and let's see if user is able to access the company resources if the machine is non-compliant. Let me show you one more time. The device is showing as non-compliant. Now we can see that the machine is non-compliant, and this is not compliant because hard disk is not encrypted. Now I am going to open Firefox in private mode and going to open the office.office.com, and I have to provide my username and password, and we can see the conditional access is enforced on the device, and it's saying that require you to secure the device before you can access the company resources. And if user is trying to click on this continue option, it will ask us to re-authenticate again, and after re-authentication user is getting similar kind of window, and if they're clicking on get the app, it's now redirecting user to the Microsoft documentation side where user can read the documentation. I hope this is an informative video for you. Thank you very much for watching this video.